He was my best friend, she began. He had a way of seeing the world that most of us miss. Where others saw ordinary trees or abandoned buildings, Ethan saw stories. He lived for adventure and for capturing the beauty in things others overlooked. It's hard to say goodbye, but I take comfort in knowing that he was doing what he loved. As Rachel spoke, her mind drifted back to the photos. She hadn't shown them to anyone else, not even Marco. They felt wrong, as though sharing them might unleash something best left forgotten. After the service, mourners gathered at Rachel's house. Marco stayed close to her side, helping to entertain guests and fend off well-meaning but exhausting questions about what had happened. As the crowd thinned, Rachel and Marco found themselves alone in the living room, a quiet settling over them. "Do you think we'll ever know what really happened?" Rachel asked, breaking the silence. Marco hesitated. "I don't know. Maybe some things aren't meant to be understood." Rachel nodded but couldn't accept that answer. Later that night, long after Marco had left and the house was still, she pulled out Ethan's camera. She stared at the final photo, her fingers trembling as she zoomed in on the tree. The more she looked, the more she was convinced she saw something. A face, or was it just a trick of the light? She closed the laptop abruptly and decided to try to sleep. But sleep wouldn't come. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the tree, its twisted branches reaching out as though beckoning her. And somewhere, faint but unmistakable, she thought she heard a whisper. In the weeks that followed, Rachel's obsession with the photo grew. She began researching Hemlock Forest, uncovering stories of hikers who had gone missing over the years. The pattern was too consistent to ignore. All had disappeared near the same unmarked section of trail. Locals spoke in hushed tones about the forgotten path, a place that seemed to exist and vanish at its own whim. Marco tried to talk her out of pursuing it, warning her that she was risking her safety, but Rachel couldn't let it go. She felt an inexplicable pull, the same pull that must have drawn Ethan to the path. Against Marco's protest, she packed a bag and set out for Hemlock Forest, determined to uncover the truth. As she stood at the trailhead, staring into the forest's dark expanse, she whispered a promise to Ethan. "I'll find out what happened to you. I swear it." With that, she stepped onto the trail, the whispers of the forest already beginning to stir around her.